Welcome back to the Let's Get Ready podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Spagnoli, and today we're getting ready to do some self-care with the founder of Kiramoon, Lindsey Martin. Welcome to LGR, Lindsey.
Thank you so much for having me. I just worked out, took a quick shower, and I'm ready to do our routine together.
I would say that's a great time. We're ready. We are ready to freaking self-care and get into it. Kiramoon products are so fun, and we'll get into that in a minute. The Silky Rinse is one of my top 3 makeup removing cleansers. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's in my holy grail. I will always repurchase this. So let's go through our Kiramoon routine and then we'll get into it.
Okay, amazing. So I already use this, so we're not going to use this again. And I don't know if you've ever tried to demo a cleanser on camera. It's like a special skill.
Yeah.
That's very tough. So we're not going to do that today, but I designed the Silky Rinse cleanser. I created it rather because I hated washing my face. I still don't like washing my face. It's like the unfortunate, annoying step before I get to do the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And I know not everyone feels that way. Some people love cleansing, but I wanted to create a cleanser that I looked forward to using and also eliminated the things I disliked about cleansing. One of them being things that didn't remove all my makeup, if it didn't remove my SPF, if it was drying. I have very dry skin. And so the main benefits of this, as you mentioned, it actually removes makeup, which is a lot of cleansers claim to do. This one actually does. It can get off face paint.
Yes.
It really does.
No, when I say it gets off makeup, like my top 3, I'm like, it's full glam that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what I have on. Like, I don't have anything, but you know what I mean? I'm talking full glam. It gets it right off in one go. I usually don't even have to double cleanse. So we love that.
Yeah. And my favorite way to use this, first of all, if you're watching, we were just joking about this. This is how you open it.
She twists off.
To open it like this. You twist this off and then you can squeeze it right onto your face. It's this nice, like, I don't want it to all squirt out. It's like this nice squishy bottle. We get a lot of feedback that people love the squish.
Yep.
And you squish it on. I apply it, if I'm wearing makeup, I put it on dry skin and I'll just massage it in and then I'll introduce the water. And that's my favorite way to use it. But you can use, everyone knows how to use a cleanser. You can use it however you want. But really, this is a universal cleanser, safe for all skin types, especially good for dry and sensitive skin because it's pH balanced and has a lot of nourishing ingredients, ceramides, rose water, and especially for our glam lovers, it's great for people that are super into makeup because it removes it. So that would be the first step.
Yep.
You use it just like a regular cleanser, and then you're like, oh, my face isn't dry. It feels so lovely. And then we're gonna go into Star Jelly. So have you tried this one yet?
I have, and it's so cute. All of these are just so cute. So yes, I've used this before, and I love the little brush it comes with.
Yeah,
adorable.
So we can get into a little more about like Kiramoon and why we exist, but the packaging is important to us because it's the experience of skincare. We really believe that skincare and makeup, it's self-care. It's time to connect with yourself. And so our products are very sensory, the squeeze, the way that the formula smells, the way it feels on your skin. And so this brush is just another way that you can indulge and care for yourself. And I like to just close, it sounds so silly, but I like to close my eyes and just feel the brush on my skin like after a long day. It's just a nice treat. So this is our mask. It's called Star Jelly. It's a 10% AHA mask. And what this is going to do is it's going to gently buff away dead skin cells. It breaks them down. And then when you rinse it away, you're going to have a glowy, fresh under layer of skin. That being said, this is a chemical exfoliant. So if you're using retinol, really any other actives, you want to test this first because it is a chemical exfoliant. 10% is very mild. Like if we're talking on the scale of chemical exfoliants, if you think about the ordinary, I think theirs is 25%. This is only 10. But when we're talking about chemical exfoliants, you just want to be aware. I actually am on tretinoin, so I'm only going to do this on my nose and my forehead because I tend to have sensitivities in this area.
Okay.
But here we go. So you just pump out a little bit.
Oh, you do it right on the brush. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could do whatever.
No, that's smart. I don't know why I was like, it's like makeup for me. I like put it in the back of my hand and then do it. I don't know why.
No, some people don't even like the brush, and we encourage that. Like if you like the feeling of your hands massaging it into your skin, that's great. This is all meant to help you curate a happier 5 minutes, at the end of the day for yourself. It's unwinding through beauty, caring for yourself through beauty. And I like to do this on a Friday night. I'll do this once a week. and then I'll pour a glass of wine and put on a rom-com and let this just sit in.
That's all
So
you
at
need.
10%, at 10% AHA, you could leave this on really as long as you wanted. If you look at any AHA serum, 10% is probably what you're going to get.
Okay.
So you can't like burn yourself with this, but you will see the effects in as little as 5 minutes. So we
Okay.
suggest 20 to 30 minutes on the bottle, but you could do an instant facial, 5 or 10 minutes. You could leave it on for the duration of a movie or your favorite show.
That's good to know.
Definitely. I mean, I think in the world of skincare, AHAs are one of the most research proven ingredients. That's why you see them everywhere, but not everyone is super familiar. And there are brands coming out with really high percentages, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think if you are informed and you understand the ingredients, why not use a 25% AHA at home? But
Yeah.
that is not the purpose of our products. Our products have incredible before and afters. I encourage anyone watching this to check out our website. Our products are proven to work and to improve the health of your skin, but we're not clinical, and we want to create formulas that you can enjoy every day. And something like a 25% AHA peel, you can really only use that once a month or less without damaging your skin barrier. So that's kind of our philosophy. But
Yeah, it's more approachable, and like you said, it you can incorporate it into your everyday a lot more, and I think it's a little less scary
exactly.
too sometimes because like I think of that ordinary red mask and I'm like, "Oh, please. I can't
Yeah,
handle
you
that."
know what? There's a person and a customer for that,
Yep.
and we love that. And maybe if someone watching this uses that peel, this would be a great cleanser for them because it's so gentle. So skincare is so personal, and there's a place, for every product and every brand. But that's just our philosophy is more of the everyday essentials that improve the health of your skin and just make you smile at the end of a long day.
Yes, I love that. And then we're going to end with the flower
Yeah,
melon serum.
exactly. So we'll have to let this soak. We'll
Yeah.
rinse it off. I actually just ran out of my flower melon in my bathroom, which is probably the coolest perk of being a skincare founder. I just go into my office closet and I grab a new one so we can open a fresh one together
Okay, we love
once
that.
our star jelly has soaked in.
Yep. And then I also brought my little globes.
Yes.
I
Oh my
love
gosh, you have
these.
the old packaging.
Oh, I'm an
That's
OG. No.
wild.
I
I
love
mean,
this
same
box.
product.
I
You
love
know
it.
what? I do too. And people love that box because it's a lot sturdier for storing. This does come with the foam in it, but for retail, if that's in a store, it's really hard to see how beautiful
Yep.
they are. So I I like the display of this one, but a lot of people do love the old box.
No,
So
I
you
no, but the aesthetics of that one, gorgeous. But this is just like when it's in my room and I'm like, ah, let me open my
yeah.
little box. It's so cute. Well, before we get into your brand, I kind of want to hear about your story creating your brand because I think it's really interesting and unique. And you were going through a lot at the time that you launched Kiramoon. So can you kind of give us that background?
Of course. Yeah. So Kiramoon kind of starts on a sad note, but it ends on a happy note. The inspiration and the idea for my brand came in 2017, which was the hardest year of my life. My mom passed away, and I was also at the peak of a super stressful, high pressure career in tech. So it kind of felt like this really interesting intersection, or challenging intersection, I should say, of, grieving a loved one, not only a loved one, my mom, at the same time that I was really thriving in my career. I identified with my career. I didn't want to let that go. And I just felt like my world was chaotic. And during that time, I would go to my bathroom at the end of a long day, close the door, and just do my skincare routine. And it became this very peaceful, meditative escape. I would feel the texture of the product on my fingers. I would smell them, and all those sensory things, of course, we know through talk therapy and mental health education that all those sensory things really do help, move to a part of your brain that is more peaceful and happy than the part that feels upset and panicked and sad. And so as my skincare became this really important ritual at the beginning and end of each day, I looked at my products that I loved that are still great products, but there was nothing about them that was helping facilitate the way that I was using my skincare routine, which was really for mental health
Yeah.
and self care. And I realized that a brand needs to be doing this. And I did some research, and I'm not the only one using my beauty products this way. There's actually a statistic, I think it's 36% of Americans chose skincare as their favorite self-care activity. So people are already using their beauty products this way, you know, their makeup, their hair, their skincare, but we're the first brand designed specifically to use your skincare as self-care. So that's kind of how the idea, that was a little nugget, the little seed that was planted in my mind. And then a lot happened between then and, you know, where we are now. But um, mental health is still at the core of what we do. We donate a portion of every sale to a mental health nonprofit. So we also have a lot of fun. Some of that sounds a little depressing, but it's all about self love and joy and really taking the time you have in your bathroom, which for some people is 5 minutes or less if you're a single mom or working two jobs. And we want to help make that time more joyful and playful and fun for you.
Absolutely. Your brand is such a positive brand and it really does like when I look at it I get happy cuz I love pink and red as you know. But like it is I feel like everything all of your goals for this brand I think really shine through with that. And um I feel like that is such a huge leap of faith being in kind of that mindset from going you're in a really stable job and then you're also going through your loss of your mother and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was that a hard leap of faith? I like to ask like leap of faith questions because I'm like, how did you
Yes.
go from something so stable to something really unknown?
It was really hard. I will say though, I did not quit my full-time job until we launched and I saw a physical sale. Like
Yeah.
that was the most important to me. And so I think it did make it really hard. Like manufacturing products, building a website, launching a brand, getting it ready to sell, doing all that while you have a full time job. It was a lot, but I was too scared to do it until I had real evidence that people were going to buy this and they wanted it. So we launched on January 15th, 2021, and I put in my 2 weeks at the end of that month in January. So 2 weeks into launching, I realized we are onto something. People relate, they connect to this brand, they connect to me, people are buying our products. And yeah, it was a leap of faith after that. And the last 2 years have been a roller coaster, but all in all, it's been an incredible journey. The products are so well received, and I'm really proud of myself looking back for taking that leap of faith, as you said.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Did you not
I'm
look at
really
it as a
proud
leap
of
of faith? I feel like you never looked at it. I'm like,
No, but you're right. It is. It is. It is. It's. I think it's one of those things that I think after my mom passed, I really, you know, I think when you lose someone that close to you for the first time and you're grieving for the first time, you really recognize how fragile life is and how short life is. And I just didn't want to look back and say I stuck in this tech job because it was comfortable and you know it had decent pay. Um, this is my one life, and I feel called, I felt called to create this brand and to make products that bring people joy, and I just did it. I think um you know, going through the loss of my mom really helped change my perspective on life in a way that pushed me to follow my dreams.
you should be so proud of yourself for doing that. And I love your story already. I'm kind of just like speechless. I'm like, yes, girl. But no, I think that you're doing something so special with your brand. And I don't think that there really are any other skincare brands that take mental health so seriously. And it's really at the forefront of your brand. And I think it's just real of you to kind of also say, like, I didn't quit my job right away. Cause I feel like sometimes we get this, like, oh, she was here and then she just leaped to Kiramoon and then it's successful. It's like, no, like, you took, I think, cautious steps, which is important. I think
Yes.
people should learn that if they're going to do something like this, but clearly it paid off and that is amazing. So I feel like what was that kind of like starting a brand at that time? I feel like was it like a good distraction or was that overwhelming? Because I feel like you're jumping into this new thing and then, what's
Yes.
next kind of thing.
That's such a good question, and I actually don't get asked that very often. So we launched January 2021, but I signed on with our brand designer, the one that does like our packaging, all these
Yep.
beautiful images behind me. I signed the contract with her in early February 2020, and then lockdown started just a few weeks after. And I think if I hadn't signed on, I probably would have chickened out. Lockdown was hard on all of us.
Yeah.
I went through a breakup. I was alone at home. Like, it was a lot, and I think it was the perfect distraction, especially in the early days when, I was living alone, I couldn't really see anyone. I just worked. It was my passion project. So, I wanna say it was hard, but it really wasn't. It was joyful. It was my escape, the same way
Yeah.
that skincare is an escape. It was something I could just totally dive into and get lost in and kind of ignore the scary reality of the world at the time.
Yeah, no, and you can see how you dove into your brand. Like just looking at the lineup right now, it's just you see it and it's Kiramoon. That's Kiramoon. You know it instantly, and you can see all your passion in your brand, which that's why another reason why I love the brand. Um,
Thank you.
anytime. But another thing too, you mentioned earlier how proceeds go to mental health, but also I kind of wanted to go back to how it's just such a self-care moment, and I feel like before going on TikTok and before kind of learning about that there is a whole community that does self-care in a skincare way, you know what I mean? Or doing your makeup on the floor is like self-care to me. Um,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So when you were kind of making this brand, what was important to you other than the sensory things that we will get into, like the branding and stuff like that? Um,
Yeah.
how important was it to you to make sure that you are putting proceeds towards mental health and you're kind of doing something different with your brand in that way?
It was super important. I was diagnosed with anxiety right after my mom passed, and that was 5.5 years ago now. And I think COVID really launched mental health awareness to the
Yes.
forefront. And it seems crazy to think that even 5.5 years ago, someone would be embarrassed or scared to talk about an anxiety diagnosis. But that was the reality in 2017. I remember going to my dad at the time and saying, I'm gonna get a therapist. And he was like, are you okay? I mean, that's how much
Yeah.
we've grown as a culture in terms of mental health acceptance, mental health awareness. And so at the time, I was diagnosed. I went into talk therapy. I was prescribed anxiety medications, which I am still on, and it changed my life.
Yeah.
And I just thought there are so many people struggling with anxiety, depression, bipolar, like you name it. And why are people embarrassed? This is no different than, having asthma or anything else. It's our brain. It's not who we are.
Yeah.
And as scary as it was even to share with my closest friends and family that I was taking medication for anxiety, I really felt like creating Kiramoon was an opportunity to talk about mental health and say, listen, even the founder and CEO of a skincare brand who's running a business struggles with anxiety. Like, this isn't, this is just part of the human existence. And so I was very passionate about sharing that in the beginning. I think now people are so much more open about it, but I still get people, customers that say, I really resonate with this. Thank you for sharing your journey with mental health and anxiety. So I always knew that that would be important. I think in addition to that, and not to ramble on this topic, but
Ramble.
um, I really want to create a business that can hire people that love where they work. Early in my career, I worked in fashion in New York, and it was just terrible the way that I was treated, my coworkers were treated, and that's broad. I'm sure there are so many wonderful places you can work in fashion in New York, and that was over 10 years ago. But um, thinking about creating jobs for people where they get mental health benefits. Maybe we have some sort of like you get one day off a month for your period, like just creating an environment where people love to work, where they're treated with respect and kindness. It seems so simple, but it's pretty common for people to hate their manager, hate their job, and the idea of creating a place where people love to work is exciting to me as well, aside from the products.
No, I'm so happy that you brought that up because that's why I went on my own because I feel you. You especially in fashion and retail, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I did makeup too. Like there's a lot of disrespect and my last job it sent me over the edge and I was like I'm done. So to hear that you take that so seriously makes me love you and your brand even more because I think that is something that is so I feel like swept under the rug. Like just I don't know, caring for your employees, like not like, oh, we're a family, but like actually doing these steps, taking these steps
Yes.
for mental health. And oh my God, did you see here the period thing? My friend is so for that. And if she heard that, she's going to like go crazy and be like, I'm buying everything. But it's so important. And I love that about your brand and how important that is to you because I feel like everyone hates what they do, hates where they work. And I think I don't know, I think that's a huge part of our mental health is what we do every day.
Yeah,
And if you hate that,
absolutely.
then you gotta fix it somehow. But
Agreed.
I love that. I want to kind of know, without telling your secrets, like what are your goals for Kiramoon regarding mental health awareness, and even that goes inside Kiramoon to your employees. But what are your goals with that?
Yeah. Um, I envision us partnering with other mental health brands. My dream is to partner with Calm, the app, or
Yes.
Headspace to do guided meditations for your skincare. I
Stop.
know, I
I will make you a TikTok literally when I leave here and be like, can we please make this? I'm obsessed. Go on. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I'm just excited.
I know. And I really think we are that's a new idea. I've never seen a brand do that. So sometimes I am scared to share it because it'd be really easy for a big brand to approach
Yeah.
one of those apps and say, let's do this. I
Yeah.
didn't invent guided meditation. So there's so many fun ways that we could do it. We could do a partnership with them. We could add our own guided meditations on our website. So we want to continue not just creating products that help people use their skincare this way, but teaching people how. If you're going
Yes.
to wash your face once a day, if that's your thing, not everyone does, but if you're going to do it, let us help you make that a joyful 5 minutes, not a chore.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of the ways, but yeah, the mental health aspect aside from sensory is will continue to be a big part of what we do. I would love to have pop-ups someday that are either a sensory experience or a guided meditation. So most of the ways we want to incorporate it are really around marketing and brand awareness, which as a new brand, we don't have the budget for it yet, but it's all in my brain. So the second we have the money, it's like we're going to go for it, and we want to be the mental health skincare brand.
Yes. I can't wait for you to do this because I feel like even for me, meditation is I'm still getting used to it. I'm still trying to find something that I really identify with. And the way when you just said to do it when you do your skincare, like you said, the sensory things are fun and to squeeze the bottle and pour it on your face. I love that. But then sometimes I still get lost and I'm like, okay, am
Yeah.
I doing the self-care right now or am I just doing the skincare routine? And I feel like that would
Yes.
be so fun to have that as you get ready or as you do your skincare. I I think you need to do that. I think you need to
Right?
get
And
on
what
that. I'm
a
obsessed.
it's a much more approachable. I
Yes.
think with meditation, like who has time to like sit down on their bed with an app? That's really hard,
Yeah.
especially if you're in the middle of a mental crisis, a breakup, losing your job, whatever. That's really hard to do. So again, if you're going to brush your teeth or wash your face, it would be a really easy way for people to kind of dabble in meditation without it feeling like this overwhelming, like, what am I going to do this in my day?
Yeah, like a chore sometimes. Like you said, like sometimes
Yeah.
just getting on your bed is a whole chore. It's a whole thing. So just having that in your routine. Oh my God. I can't wait for you to do that. I will keep my eye out.
Yes.
And I feel like that kind of leads me into the no question. Um, if someone tells you no, you're talking to the wrong person. But I am really interested to hear your take on this and how you not created your own yes, but how you kind of went about getting these no's.
Yeah. No's are tough. And
Yeah.
if you asked me when we first launched, no's were paralyzing to me. I
Yeah.
mean, we would get a no from a retailer or a customer, or it didn't matter. If we got a no, it hurt me to my core, and it made me feel that our products aren't good enough, our brand isn't good enough. And it's taken me time to get where I am now. I don't feel that way at all anymore. When we get a no from someone, again, maybe it's a big retailer, I don't take it as a no. I take it as a not right now.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow, I will be a new CEO. Tomorrow, our products could be different. It's an opportunity to pivot and to go, okay, I wonder why. I love when people say no, I love asking why. And not everyone's comfortable being that candid and honest. But if someone's willing to tell you why, that is the most valuable piece of feedback you can ever get, especially in business. So I'm big on, okay, can you tell me why? And then I have something to work towards. So I think of no's as shortcuts and clues to getting to the yes instead of just a no. Because if, as a founder or a business owner, you gave up at no, then your business would be over on day one because being a business owner is it's about problem solving and overcoming obstacles. So it took me a while to get to this point, but now, of course, no still sting a little bit, but
Yeah.
more than anything, I don't take it as a no. I take it as a not yet, and then I work towards getting to the yes.
I love your answer for that. I love how real you are about the beginning getting the nose and how I could imagine like someone saying like, "Oh, I don't like the twist up," just something about your brand or just from a retailer. I would take it personally like how you said. Like I feel like I'd be like, "What do you mean?" Like, it hurts. It's like your baby, like saying no to your baby. Like so I love how real you are in that aspect, but I think it is so important to learn how to pivot and ask why don't you like it? What about it? And if it's something that doesn't apply to you, then it's just not right now, not the right no, not the right yes. But I
Exactly.
think that is so important to kind of like self-reflect on your brand because it's like a kid. Like you think your kid's perfect, but someone might be like, oh,
Yeah,
it needs
and
work. But
no feeling is final.
yeah,
I That helps me a lot. Like if someone doesn't like the packaging or doesn't like the product or says it's too expensive, like nothing is like stuck in time. We can change packaging, we can pivot based on customer feedback. So I think having the flexibility within myself to just accept feedback. Accepting negative feedback is hard as individuals, as business owners. And so I've had to take what how I would normally react to feedback personally and reframe it to how I should take feedback as a business. And so much of that is just disconnecting my identity from the brand, but that takes time as well. So
no, that's such a great answer. And do you have any tips on kind of like getting to the place where you are now with the nose? Like I know, like you said, you're still working on it, but going from getting hurt to okay, it's not the end of the world. Let's just kind of like brush it off the shoulder.
yeah, for me, I think I had to stare it right in the face.
Yeah.
Like the first year we were in business, if we would get a customer return, which rarely happens, by the way, we don't even
Yeah.
get one product return a month. We have a very high retention rate, but I would immediately get triggered when I saw the email
Mhm.
and I would avoid reading it for a day. And then I would reply and just pretend like it never happened. And so, like, I kind of gave it the power to be this scary thing. But when I reframed it and I became curious, like, why wouldn't this person like it? Tell me more. That curiosity just created a softness in the way that I approached it. So, yeah, it's like I would even though I was scared, I would look it right in the face. I would be curious. And then usually, like, the answer wasn't as scary as I imagined in my mind.
Yep. I do the same thing, and I feel like it's so easy to just be like, "I'm not gonna look at it. I already know the answer. I don't wanna see it." But I think it is the
Yeah,
fact of just look at it. Look at the elephant in the room, address it, figure it out, and then,
exactly.
like you said, it's not that big. It's usually like the mouse, you know what I mean? So it's not
Yes.
I think that's a great way to look at it. Um,
Okay, sorry,
and
before you go
yeah,
on, I'm about to remove my mask, but I don't know if you can see, look how glossy and shiny my forehead
I've been
is from
looking
when
at your forehead the whole
the
time we've been
glass
talking.
skin.
I'm like,
No,
"Her skin is
it dries
amazing."
down and it's like so smooth.
My skin
But
feels
anyway, go
to
on.
die for right now after taking that off. I'm like, "Oh, I'm like a baby." I love it. That
Yeah.
is just one of my favorite routines right there. And kind of getting into the routine, I want to talk about your branding, the packaging, the whole sensory thing because I'm obsessed with it. Can you kind of take us through the branding process of Kiramoon, like the pink and the red and all of it?
Yeah, of course. So, of course, knowing the North Star of the brand, it was always going to be about mental health. I wanted everything to feel happy. I wanted it to feel joyful. And I wanted it to be almost like ethereal fantasy because we're trying to help people escape the reality of life and go somewhere magical that they feel magical and they feel in control. And so all of those feelings led all of our design decision, the colors that we use, the fonts that we use, adding the holographic,
Yeah.
everything had to point back to that feeling that we were trying to evoke for the customer. And so early on we knew our brand is this and it's not that. And every time, the designer and I um disagreed or she wanted to try something or I wanted to try something, we would ask ourselves, does it fit in this scope of the customer experience? And if it didn't, we would say scrap it. We can't have that color. We can't have that font, whatever, which is hard because I love all things modern and design, and I can appreciate the aesthetic of a skincare brand that's neutral and clean and modern, but that's just not what Kiramoon is. And so it's harder than you think. It's not about creating a brand that you like or think is pretty. It's about creating the brand that your dream customer would want, which is very different than just something that you would want. So
No, yes. Yeah, open the box, do the whole thing. I'm obsessed. No, I think that is a really great way to look at it because as much as like, oh, I like this, I like that, but would your dream customer like that? And I
exactly.
we do. We definitely do.
Yeah.
No, I
So my
love
favorite is just to like squeeze again. It's the sensory and like even just
I'm
now,
gonna do that.
it
I never do that. I never like this is like
it feels
foreign.
cool on your
Ooh.
face.
I actually
And then
never do that.
flower melon has this, we call it water gel, but it has like, it's kind of slimy for lack of a better word, but then it dries quickly and it just plumps the skin. Also great for makeup prep. It does have a little bit of tackiness that helps hold on
Yeah.
to makeup. Um, oh, I just love it. And we get a lot of comments on the smell. I mean, it is skincare, it has no perfume, no synthetic fragrance. It has melon extract and banana flower extract. So it has a nice botanical fresh smell, but no fragrance that's going to irritate the skin. Oh, I just love my
I
skin feels
love
so.
it. You feel so plump and smooth and soft and silky. And I was gonna say too, I love the textures of the formulas and of your products. Like the silky
Yeah,
rinse, it feels silky. It makes your skin feel silky. You look silky.
yeah,
I just and like you said, it's like slimy, but when you touch your skin, it's not. You know what I mean?
yeah, it dries down and it's just perfect for makeup. I just love how
Yeah,
my skin looks after I use it.
I know. I'm
It's
like
like,
glow. I love it. She's glowing. We
yeah.
love the Kiramoon. Can you kind of go into the name too? Now that I just said it, what does Kiramoon mean, and
Yeah,
how did you
I
name it
get that
that?
question a lot, and it doesn't mean anything.
Okay,
Kiramoon is, it feels the way we want our customers to feel when they use the product. So to me, Kira Moon sounds kind of like this fantasy character. She's glowing, which is of course a nod to the skin, that moon, again, the luminosity. But yeah, like it would just be a character that is positive and confident and happy and joyful and using the products and caring for themselves. So to me, Kira Moon is sort of this pretend character.
yep.
Um, I think for others, it's just kind of fun and nice to say. It gives you a feeling. But yeah, for me, again, it all went back to that customer avatar and how do I want them to feel when they see the product, when they say the name, and when it came into my mind, I Googled it to see if the domain was available, and it was, and I knew that it was going to be Kiramoon.
You had to take it. I love it. No, Kiramoon sounds like a character. Like that's why I was asking.
Yeah,
I'm like, is this someone's name? Who is this? Because I love her. She
yeah,
is such a fantasy, and no, I'm obsessed with all of that. And now that I'm kind of touching my moon globes, how important was it to you to kind of bring in these accessories to your brand? Like you said, the
yes.
brush, this. I know you have like really cute mirrors too. Like what? How did that kind of play a part in your brand?
Yeah, thanks. Actually, people don't ask about that often, but you're hitting the nail on the head. Like we brought in these accessories because, again, we want to help you create joy and play in your bathroom through skincare, and that is so personal. It's different for everyone. Um, but definitely the skincare tools, things that you can do at the end of a long day, whether it's for 2 minutes while your kid is screaming in the background, or it's, alone in your apartment because you've gone through a breakup and you're watching a rom-com and crying and you need your moon globes. It's just one extra tool in your arsenal when you go, I need 2 minutes for me.
Yep.
What's the fastest way to make that a really special experience? And to me, when I thought about the end of a long day or having a spa night at home, watching a movie, it included all those things. It was a mask that I could apply with a brush, and then it was the cooling moon globes and the feeling of them on my skin. So we have more fun tools in our product pipeline. One, fingers crossed, will be released this year. And again, it goes back to that North Star, like our whole
Yep.
why, whole purpose for existing. And the tools help us get there. It helps our customer get where we want them to go.
I love that. And I'm so excited to see the other accessories that you bring into the brand because I think I think it's important for your brand specifically to do this because it is a part of a routine. And like you said, the cool moon globes, like after you're crying, like you need those. But I think a
Yeah.
lot of brands kind of overlook that step. And I'm like, no, we need the cute accessories and stuff like that. And I love that whole purpose of those in your brand. I remember you just kind of said earlier, had you had kind of hesitated making this brand, you don't think you would have. And I remember when I was doing my research on you, you kind of mentioned like not to wait and just kind of
Mm.
start something. So can you kind of leave us with something on that aspect of like why you shouldn't wait and why you should go for something or why you shouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, I again going back to what I did, so I mean, my mom passed in 2017. We didn't officially launch until 2021, and I didn't start seriously working on the business till early 2020. I don't want to fool anyone to thinking I like just took the leap. I saved up for 3 years, and I knew if I quit my job, I had baked in several months of living expenses, which is such a luxury, and not everyone has income where they can save for even 3 years and have enough. So don't want to like I don't want to give someone advice, say just go for it. No,
Yeah.
like you need to have your affairs in order. Um, but that said, don't let fear be the thing that holds you back. If you're good, if you have a partner or a family member or a financial situation that can carry you for a little bit when you first launch,
That's you.
then just do it. Like it's scary no matter what. It's scary now. Like we are moving units. We're selling hundreds of thousands of units and I still wake up scared every day wondering like if we're going to make it again in a year. So once you realize that the fear never goes away, it's hard no matter what, you might as well just go for it. And for me, I had to look at there's fear in either path. Not doing it, there's the fear of looking back with regret. There's the fear of wasting years of your life in a job that you hate where you're either totally unfulfilled or you're not treated with kindness. There's fear by sticking with that path too. And I realized that my fear of not pursuing my dreams and staying in my tech job for the rest of my life, that was scarier than going for my dreams, failing, and then having to go back to that job. At least I could say I tried. And so I tell people to look at it that way. Like there's fear in both paths, like which is actually the scarier outcome. So that helped me a lot to go for it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna help a lot of people too. Once again, I just love how real you are and how straight up you're like, nope, I saved. Like, you have to have a plan. That's why I had this podcast. I'm like, I don't want to hear, like, oh, I just did it. Like, no, there was
No, it's
obviously
been
strategy
hard.
behind it. But I
Yeah.
think that is such a great question to ask. Like, what do you fear more, not doing it or doing it? And you just never know until you try. And I love that answer. I love your story. I love your brand, and I
You.
love learning all that I did today. So thank you so much for coming on and everything that you do with Kiramoon. And anyone watching, go to Kiramoon right now and get literally everything because you need it, and I love it. And once again, just thank you so much for everything coming on and
Of
creating
course.
Kiramoon.
Thank you. Your energy is so wonderful. You're pure sunshine. I'm sure that's why your audience loves you. But it's been a pleasure chatting with you about mental health and Kira Moon. And thanks to everyone that listens.
Thank you so much. That was so fun. Well, I'm gonna go and glow, and so are you.
Yes.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.